Hey guys, I'm here to show you how to charge your Phantom 3 batteries with your SkyRC e660 lipo balance charger. This will probably also work with the Hitec X1 Plus as well as the HobbyKing ecosix. From what I can tell, they're pretty much the same charger. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that with using these chargers, these 4-button chargers, you want to make sure that there's enough initial charge in it for it to work. If you start to get below, I think it's like 14.5 volts, this will not work. So I've actually had to use a Phantom charger to start the charging process to get up to a certain voltage, and then once it gets there, as long as you don't go below that voltage, I don't know if 14.5 is the correct number or not, but if it doesn't work, it's probably because your voltage is too low. Typically your out of the box spec is too low of a voltage to start, so you might want to borrow somebody's charger to get it started. It can be a little tricky. It doesn't work every time. Also, if you're like above 90% charge on your Phantom battery, roughly, it also won't work. So you actually have to drop that charge below a certain voltage as well. So it has to be within a certain voltage. And you can kind of play around with that and see what you think. I've taken my batteries down to like 5% on my Phantom and recharged them and haven't had a problem. So without further ado, I'll show you how I do this, how I finally got it to work, and we'll go from there. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to pick up one of these cables here, these adapters. It's got banana plugs on the end, as you can see, and it plugs right into your Phantom 3 battery. You can buy these for around 10 bucks online. I got it at my local hobby shop here at Aerotech Hobbies in Canton, Ohio, North Canton, Ohio, for around 10 bucks or so too. So they're really not expensive. They're pretty inexpensive. You could probably even make your own too, because as you can see on the end of this battery, it's really just 2 spade plugs. So it's really not all that complicated. You just have to make sure that you have the polarity correct. So with that connected, you want to have your charger set to PB bat, and the first thing you want to do is turn your battery on. Now this is where it kind of gets complicated for other if your charge is too low, because it won't always stay here at this charging level. So with it set to PB bat, you want to hit enter. I have mine set for 6 amps. With the AC charger, just the AC power cord, it typically doesn't go above 3.4, 3.5. Then you also want to have it set for 18 volts, which is a 9S PB battery. So the Phantom battery itself will only charge to 17.45, I believe is what is listed. On here it'll actually show 17.65 before the intelligent battery actually cuts power off all by itself. So you don't have to worry, you're not actually going to hit that 18 volts, and what's going to happen is the battery itself, once it reaches the voltage that the battery wants it to be at, it will cut the power, and then you will get a disconnection error on your charger. So the first thing you want to do here, again, is set it to PB charge and press enter. And then once you have these settings set, you hit enter. You can go, you can change the amperage there. Hit enter again. You can go over to change it, whether it's an 8S or a 9S. I think you can go up to 10S before it goes back down to a 1S battery. So I set mine for 9S at 18 volts. Hit enter, and then you press and hold enter. So here you can see that this is at 0.1. Now, I've had it where it doesn't start showing 0.1, 0.2 amps until after 10 seconds. But what you want to do is right when it's around 0.1 is you want to come over here. This would take forever, and I don't even know if it's actually sending any voltage. But what you'll do is you'll disconnect the negative battery terminal and reconnect it. And you want to do it kind of quick, or else you're going to get a connection error. Okay, so I'll show you here. So disconnect and reconnect, and you can see it jumped up to 3.4, 3.5. So that will continue to charge until this 15.6 here gets up to about 17.64, 17.65 ish. Once it gets to that point, the battery will cut off power, and you'll see there'll just be one single green LED on the 3rd battery level there. So we'll let this go, and I'll come back when it's done. So here you can see it reached 17.45 volts. However, it's still charging. I'm guessing there's some type of discrepancy between what DJI is reading internally as 17.45 volts and what the charger itself reads as 17.45 volts. But don't be afraid though, because the Phantom battery will disconnect on its own once it reaches what it senses as 17.45 volts. Alright, so we're approaching the 17.64, 17.65 volts here, so you'll see the battery cut off and I'll get a connection issue. So there you go, it says connect error, check main port. That's common, that's not an issue. Here you can just hit stop, which will take you back to PB bat, and then you'll notice that again the third LED light is blinking on the battery. You can just press that button there and that'll turn that off, and then you can disconnect your battery, disconnect the battery, and fully charged battery. It's not hot at all, there's no issues, no charging issues, and you're ready to go fly.